Mr. Drake, I can't go it alone. Oh, you don't understand. You gotta go with me.
Mr. Benson, if you really want to turn yourself in, all you have to do is walk into a police station.
Oh, no, not unless I got a lawyer with me I can trust. Please, just meet me. Take me in. That's all I ask.
All right, Benson. Where are you?
I'm at the old abandoned shipyard at Hunter's Point.
Larry, how often you get calls like that?
These days, only about once a month. I don't practice as much criminal law as I used to.
And you have no idea why some joker's trying to kill you?
Nope. I can't imagine.
And you didn't recognize his voice?
No. And the name Benson was probably a phony, too, huh?
Oh, excuse me, Larry.
Oh, yeah. You know my partner, Jerry Billings. This is Lieutenant Mike Stone, Inspector Dan Robbins.
How are you? Larry, that business meeting with the Hampton Corporation executives has been changed to 6 o'clock.
Okay. I'll be ready for it.
I've been telling him to get out of criminal law altogether. Boy, you'd think he'd had enough being the deputy DA. And I'll take divorces and corporations anytime. You live longer.
Now he tells me.
Okay, so it's somebody that has a grudge against you. Somebody that maybe you put away. Any idea who?
Are you kidding? I had an enormous caseload. They're all here. Copies of all my cases. Everything from petty larceny to murder. I tried over 50 major cases. Rape, felonious assault, armed robbery. I mean, I put away a lot of tough characters.
I'd like to have a full list of all the hard crimes.
Okay. I'll send over copies right away.
What about his car?
Light blue. I think a Ford. Older model.
Anything on the license?
No. I was too busy trying to save my own skin.
Larry, I think it would be smart if we offered you some protection.
Come on, Mike. I was deputy DA for 8 years and I never had protection. I think this is just a one-shot. Chances are the guy's made his try and that's it.
Chances are he might try again.
Thanks, Mike, but no protection.
Okay. But if you change your mind, let me know, will you? Sure. And don't forget, I want that list as soon as possible. Right. See what we can do. You mind?
Help yourself. Thanks, Mike. Bye-bye, Dan. Bye-bye. Hello, Mrs. Finn. Sorry to keep you waiting. Looks like we're going to have to start taking a hard line with your husband.
Emily, ever see such a pile of worms? Mr. Finn.
Do you ever see such a pile of final notices? I mean, whatever happened to good faith, huh?
Mr. Finn, they won't cut off your credit for 4 months. It's the 4th month when they cut you off.
You promise, huh?
I promise.
Meanwhile, what am I going to do about the payroll? Huh? How am I going to meet the payroll on the 15th?
Well, you still have the Murphy account.
Yeah. And there's a hotel. Yeah, CC promised me that hotel account. I mean, she's never let me down. Okay, I'll get the fabrics from Parsons. Oh, God, he's been dunning me since July. Hello. Yeah? Yes, Charlie Finn. Who? IRS. Oh, that's all I need. Yes. Yeah, well, listen, Mr. Peterson, yes, I know I did not deliver the quarterly withholding, but there have been some personal problems, and I could use a little more time. Yeah, okay, so it's not government policy. I mean, it's not going to create a national crisis to give a small businessman a chance to breathe, huh? Yeah, I would appreciate it if you would check with your superior. Yeah, great. Everybody wants their pound of flesh. And I got a headache. Oh, it's a splitting headache.
I'll get you something.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Drake.
Mr. Finn. Yeah, Mr. Finn, I called your attorney, but he said you dismissed him. Now, I don't like to get into this with you, but you give me no choice. You're 4 months delinquent on your first payment to Ethel, and your second one was due last week.
Look, I just don't have the money right now. I'm good for it. I'm only asking for a little time, huh?
Look, Mr. Finn, you signed a settlement. That's a contract. It's what you agreed to. Now, I'm going to have to hold you to it.
Look, will you get off my back, man? I am between a rock and a hard place, and I can't do it. Now, stop squeezing me.
I'm just trying to get what's fair for your wife and your kids.
What do you know about what's fair? Why don't you stop beating around the bush? Just kill me.
And you checked it carefully for me? Okay. Thanks. Benny Sheridan is still in the slammer, so it can't be him.
That's 20 out of 50 that couldn't have done it.
Subtract the 8 who died, that leaves 22.
Take away 3 out of the country, 4 out of state, gives us 15 possibles.
We're going to have to reduce this pile down to the hard felons, that's all. Break it right down. David Fowler, Bert Jenkins. Wait, no. Here's Harlan Betts, Sam Adams. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 possibles.
Nice group. Murder, assault, arson, armed robbery, kidnapping, and every one of them rehabilitated and taken their proper role in society.
Well, we're going to have to go through this pile and find out where they are and where they were this morning.
Too bad he didn't get a look at the driver. We might have broken this down further.
Well, too bad that Larry didn't consent to having some protection.
Well, maybe the guy won't take another crack at him.
What are you talking about? Here. Take a look at these. Can you predict what each one of these guys would do?
You didn't change the points.
Well, they didn't need to be changed.
Betts, will you look at him for Pete's sake? What do I have to do, follow you around all day?
Look, man, you've been needling me ever since I started this job.
Look, you don't like the way I run this shop, you can get lost. It's a favor hiring a guy like you. Change him.
Hey, good to see you. When'd you get up?
Last week.
What took you so long to look me up?
I wanted to set up something first, for both of us. After what I just saw, I think you go for it.
The boss. The creep, man. Where you got going?
How'd you like to blow this town? Go someplace where it's nice and warm, year-round. Lauderdale.
Oh, yeah? Lauderdale? Oh, man, that's nice. But we gotta have jobs promised, man.
That's what I set up. You remember Kylie?
Yeah.
He's a big man down there now. Owns 3 gas stations. It's all set. Jobs for the both of us. He's putting it in writing so the adult authority can't jerk us around.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, that's beautiful.
Okay. Go in and give him notice.
Well, not yet. I can have about a week.
What for? We leave now. We start work Monday.
What for? The arm, Brownie, the arm is what for. I owe a guy for this. Now, I need a little more time.
Harlan, why don't you forget it? Let's go now. Start clean.
Forget it, huh? No way. I still wake up a dozen times a night in pain, Brownie. I turn over, I wake up. No, I owe a guy for this, and he's gonna pay for it. Now, you wanna go without me? You go ahead. But that's it.
I'm back with Dulcie. You can reach me at her place. Yeah. I won't go without you. I'll give you a week.
Hey, Brownie. You know, that's great. I mean, you and Dulcie. Then you understand what I gotta do.
I know what you gotta do. But I don't want to know. So don't tell me anything. That way, I don't know. Okay? You call me.
So the kids are okay, huh?
Yes, they're fine. You ought to call more often. You know you can come over anytime you want to.
Yeah, no, I'll see you tomorrow. I promised April I'd take her out. How's Hal doing?
He's fine. He's going with someone new. Her name's Jenny.
Look, Ethel, I talked to your lawyer. I don't think I'm going to be able to make that payment.
Well, there are things the kids need, Charlie. I'll have my real estate license soon, and that'll help, but...
Look, Ethel, I don't want to make things tough on you and the kids. Things are going to get better. Look, I got a big drapery order that's coming through, and I'll be solvent, see? You remember C.C. Roman, the decorator? She's coming through for me. But you got to call off that lawyer. I mean, he's attached a lien on the business on account of the back payment. I mean, he's strangling me, Ethel.
Well, I didn't know he did that. I'll talk to him. All right?
Oh, great. You're swell, Ethel. I knew I could count on you. You know, even though we can never live together, well, it doesn't change the fact you're a terrific woman.
You know, I've thought about it, and I still don't know why we can't.
Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. Tell April, okay?
Sure, I'll tell her.
Open up, police! Hold it, Harper! What are you running for, Harper? Got a lot on your mind? Seen his pad, you'd know why. A one-man swap meet.
Hi, Emily. Hello.
Cece, come in. Come in. We're just grabbing a bite. You want a half a chicken salad sandwich?
No, thanks, Charlie. Just had lunch.
What about something to drink? Lemonade, ginger ale? I got some vodka somewhere.
Not a thing. I can't stay, honey. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you.
Oh, bad news I don't need this week, Cece.
Charlie, I wish it were different.
Okay, I'm a big boy. Lay it on me.
It's a hotel order.
What about it?
Well, it just didn't work out right. I thought it was going to be a big deal.
That's right. 3,000 yards you promised me.
I know, but they cut the job way down. All I could get now is maybe 300 yards.
300?
I'm sorry, Charlie. I mean, what can I tell you? It's the brakes.
I need that order, Cece. It's the big one. I need it!
Is this the car?
Sure is. Look at this hood and that windshield. Any prints?
Nope. No prints. It's been wiped clean. Whoever used it was a pro. Did you get anything out of Harper?
Well, I'd say he's got a pretty good alibi. Very original. Says he was breaking and entering at the same time someone was trying to cream Mr. Drake. I checked and some of the stolen loot was found in his place.
Well, what about our number 2, Dave Bauer?
He's clear, working for the city. He was with a construction gang at the time. Bert Jenkins has an alibi, too. Had a heart attack. He's still in intensive care.
Well, that's 0 for 3, huh? Pretty good. I guess the only thing we can do is start with bets and work our way down.
Mr. Drake? I tried the office, but I got the runaround.
Mr. Finn, I don't get into these things with adversary clients.
If you let me explain, just give me 5 minutes, a couple of minutes. What do I gotta do, beg? I talked to Ethel about the lien, but it doesn't make any difference. I can't pay anything right now.
Mr. Finn, it's late, and I'm tired, and we've been through all this before.
You don't understand, do you? When you're putting my whole business in jeopardy. Now, look, I'm not trying to weasel out of anything. I want to do right by my wife and kids. But what the hell good is it going to do them if I'm out on my ear, huh? How am I going to support them if I don't have a business?
Your business was in trouble long before your separation.
Well, of course my business is in trouble. I mean, what small business isn't these days, especially fabrics? I mean, they keep telling us the economy's getting better, but where, huh? Where's it getting better?
That's my point. Maybe you won't be able to stay afloat. Then where are your wife and kids? I say liquidate you now so that they have something that is assured.
I don't believe this. A man works and slaves for 20 years, and you say throw it down the sewer.
Mr. Finn, I've given you enough time. I want you to leave now.
Enough time? You know you have ice water in your veins? Is that what you learn at law school? How to rip off an honest man trying to make a living?
Either you leave right now, or I'm going to call the police.
Call the police! Call the army. What difference does it make? Finn, get the hell out of my house! Listen to me! That business is my life. You can't take it away from me. Let go of me!
Oh, Lieutenant.
Drake,
Doctor, how is he?
he's still in a coma. There are some bad contusions, maybe a concussion. We'll have to take x-rays. This is going to take a while. Let me call you in the morning.
Mrs. Drake, now we tried to offer him protection, but he wouldn't.
I know he's that way.
Did you see the man who attacked him?
No, I was upstairs. I mean, I heard Larry come in, and I thought he was bringing somebody home for dinner. He does that sometime.
You heard them?
I heard them talking. I thought it was business talk. And then it got louder and more angry. And I heard the glass shatter, and it was just awful. I rushed downstairs, but he was already gone. And Larry was lying so still, I thought he was dead.
Well, now, if you heard them, was a name mentioned?
No, I don't remember.
Well, you must have heard something, a phrase, a word, something.
I do remember thinking that it couldn't have been anybody from the office, that it must have been a client.
Why a client?
I heard him mention something about divorce, something about his wife and kids, or...
What else?
He mentioned something about fabrics, being forced into bankruptcy. I'm sorry, Lieutenant.
It's quite all right. Don't you worry about it. Here. Thank you.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Are you all right, Charlie?
Hey, sure. This had kind of a bum night. Didn't sleep too good.
You should have stayed in bed.
Well, I promised April we'd have lunch at the wharf. I never broke a promise to her. Never.
Have you been drinking, Charlie?
What if I have? What are you going to do? Tell me I shouldn't, huh?
All right, I just thought maybe you shouldn't be driving.
I'll be all right. Where's April?
She's getting dressed. She'll be down in a minute. You hungry?
No, thanks. Hal around?
He's out looking for a job to work weekends. Charlie, I tried to reach Mr. Drake to get him to call off that lien, but he was in court.
You haven't talked to him?
Not yet, but I will. I promise.
Well, he's going to be a little harder to reach now. You didn't hear what happened?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it seems he had a terrible accident yesterday. I heard it on the radio a while ago.
An accident?
A burglar, somebody, got into his house, and Drake caught the guy at it, and the guy punched him out, and he fell through a glass door or something, and I called the hospital. They said he's in serious condition.
That's terrible.
What the hell's keeping April? What's taking her so long, huh?
She likes to look nice when she goes with her father.
Hiya, Pops. How's it going?
Oh, terrific, Princess, terrific.
Yeah, Larry and I have been partners ever since he left the DA's office.
We're trying to get a fix on the attacker. Larry's wife got bits and pieces of the conversation, apparently a client of yours.
Client? Could have something to do with the divorce action. She heard the words wife, kids, and something about a settlement.
Oh, boy, Lieutenant. We got a bundle of divorce cases.
She had mention of fabrics and being pushed into bankruptcy.
Fabrics? Yeah, it is a divorce case. Only he's not our client. The wife is. The guy you're looking for is the husband.
What's his name?
Finn. His name's Charlie Finn.
Thanks.
Hello. I'm calling about a patient of yours, Lawrence Drake. Well, no, I'm a neighbor. How's he doing? Much better, huh? Well, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
I'm Lieutenant Stone. This is Inspector Robbins. Can you tell us where we can find Mr. Finn?
Oh, yes, of course. He's in his office, right over there. Mr. Finn,
I knew you guys were coming for me. I figured it was just a matter of time before he woke up and said who it was that hit him.
He's still in a coma. We found out about you another way.
Still see him lying there. Is he gonna die?
No, the doctor says he has a good chance to live.
I don't want him to die. I didn't even mean to hit him.
You didn't mean to hit him? You just walk into a man's house and knock him through a glass door by accident?
No, it was on account of my divorce. He had me against the wall. I mean, I tried to reason with him.
Was that your first encounter with Mr. Drake?
I don't know what you mean.
What kind of a car do you drive?
63 station wagon.
Ever drive a Ford 69 light blue?
What are you talking about?
2 days ago, there was another attempt on Mr. Drake's life.
Now, look, I was never in the guy's house before. I thought about calling an ambulance, and I heard somebody come down the stairs. I don't know, maybe it was his wife, but I just panicked, and I took off.
That was the second time. The first time he tried to run him down the street.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I hit him. I told you that. I hit him, and I didn't mean it. I deserve to be punished for that, but I never tried to run him down with a car. Never.
Sekulovich. Book him.
What for, Lieutenant?
Assault.
Let's go.
What do you think?
I don't know. He could be telling the truth. And if he is, then that means that our boy is still out there someplace.
You think Finn just happened to fall into this thing?
Yep, that's what I think. But we still have to cover all bases. Say, how many do you have on that list?
I've got Harlan Betts, Sam Adams, and Eddie Sullivan.
That makes 3, huh?
Listen, Mike, I did a little digging on these guys. And I've got a hunch maybe we should pay more attention to Betts than the other 2.
Yeah, why?
Ever heard of Clyde Davis?
Yeah, he was a lifer and he was killed in prison.
Yeah, well, Betts was a suspect. Seems they had a grudge going back years, and Betts was afraid of him anyway. When Betts went to trial, he wanted to make a deal with the DA not to be sent to the prison where Davis was. Only Drake wouldn't go for it.
Mm-hmm. Drake was a pretty tough prosecutor.
Okay, so 8 months later, Davis was found dead one morning in the laundry room, shivved. And the same day, Betts went into the prison hospital with knife wounds and a permanently damaged left arm.
And you think that Betts was holding Drake responsible for all this?
Could be.
All right. Since this is your idea, you take Betts and I'll take the other 2. Daniel. That's using it.
It was foolish going there like that. If you want a relief on the settlement, you should let me handle it for you. That's what you got a lawyer for. I know. You fired me. Stop worrying about the bill. We'll work it out.
You weren't getting anywhere, Ken. My world was caving in.
Charlie, I told you before, things take time and patience. I can't rush things. You can't either. There's still a good chance to save your business.
Oh, it's too late. I spoiled everything.
No, you sure didn't help things. But you can still come through this.
How?
Plead no contest. Throw yourself on the mercy of the court. I talked to the doctors at the hospital. Drake should recover. I think the court will take your state of mind into consideration.
Okay. Sorry, Ken.
I know. Look, I should have you out on bail in a couple hours. Why don't you go home, get some sleep? I'll call you first thing in the morning. Guard.
Kovic got on the ferry and Lugo's boys are with him.
Inspectors A1 to headquarters.
Headquarters.
cops.
Go ahead.
I'm at Pier 41. Get me a chopper.
Roger, Inspector.
This is it. Home sweet home.
Lou, even if this place had any answers, they've been buried for 20 years. Lou?
Oh, it's up here. Third tier.
Yeah, that's that. Set her down right there.
This was his. Last days of his life spent right here.
You said we had something to go over. Let's get on with it, all right?
Something about this place bother you?
Just don't see the point.
The point is that he was here. And you were out there.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Kovic brothers. Lou and Johnny. That's what your friends called you, right? Johnny? That's what Nick Lugo called you. You both worked for him, didn't you? It wasn't just that. And he didn't kill anybody either. He took a fall for Lugo. Did him a favor. Did you ever do a favor for Lugo yourself, Johnny?
You go that way.
I've prosecuted a lot of people. I've heard a lot of lies. I thought I could see it in any man's face now. But maybe you're less than a man, huh? How? How could you do it?
Listen to me, Lou.
No more lies! These lies you fed me all my life finally gave me the truth. Do you know that? They were finally good for something. They told me it was you and not Lugo. Whoever wrote these had to have a purpose.
there wouldn't be any for Lugo. But there would be for you. As long as I got these, I'd always be looking for my father. Instead of the man who killed him. More friends, Johnny?
Your father made a deal. And then he tried to get out of it.
So you made your deal?
What do you know? You've had everything handed to you your whole life. I handed it to you, not him. He couldn't have given you anything. He wasn't smart enough to make it. He never could have made it. But you're right about one thing. He didn't kill anybody. I don't suppose you'd let me go to Lugo and try to fix things now, would you? Okay. Just one more thing. Forgive me.
Hold it! Stop it! Come on! All right, go over!
Now you just throw that right over the side.
You see Coit Tower up there? Just to the left of it. That's where we lived. I was only 8. I could look out the window and see this place. I used to wonder if my father was looking back at me. I remember the day I heard he escaped. I stayed up all night waiting for him to come home and take me away with him. I always wondered why he never did. When we get back, I'll swear out a statement. That and what Lugo's men just did should be enough for you to pick him up and hold him.
What are you going to tell your grandmother?
I don't know.
What about the truth? Can't be any harder than sitting at that window, can it?
No? No, I guess not.
The Streets of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production, starring Carl Malden. Also starring Michael Douglas. With guest stars Richard Basehart, Thanula Flanagan, Stephen Young, Cal Bellini. Special guest star, William Wyndham. Tonight's episode, Requiem for Murder.
Check out with Johnson on down there. Try to reach you at home. You already left.
I had to get some tickets. What's up?
Yeah, the Bishop's not going to make the game tonight, Mike.
What?
He got shot. Paramedics are working with him now. He got it in the chest. He doesn't look too good.
Mike, it's a nightmare.
Tim, can you hear me? Tim.
I called the ambulance, your office, and I administered the last rites.
No sign of a gun, Mike. One bullet, close range.
Anything you come up with, give it to Steve. I'm going in the ambulance with him.
He didn't open his eyes or say a word either to Mrs. Costello or to me.
Who's Mrs. Costello?
Oh, she's the housekeeper. In fact, it was she and Father Tony who found him.
Thank you. Excuse me, Mrs. Costello. My name is Inspector Keller. Just got a couple of questions to ask you. Now, did you hear the shot?
No, sir. It's my novena night. I was around the corner at the church. Father Tony and I walked back, and he went upstairs to his room.
And then you came directly here to the study?
Directly. I always look in on my bishop before retiring.
Now, did you see anybody here in the room with him?
Only himself. Lying there so pale, I thought he was dead.
And when I heard her scream, I came running in.
And neither one of you saw anybody in the hall?
Only Father Tony. There is Tony.
Yes, Monsignor.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
This is Inspector Keller, Father Anthony Padillo, the bishop's secretary.
Oh, Father, did the bishop have any guests here tonight? No, sir. He canceled all appointments. Said he wanted to be left alone.
Now, I understand the rectory is entirely locked up. Who exactly has keys to get in here?
Only the private staff. I can't imagine why anyone would walk in off the street and shoot a man like Bishop Farrell.
Did you tell him about the letter?
No.
What letter's that?
It came in yesterday's mail, one of those anonymous cranks.
We get them all the time.
Well, I'd still like to see it.
I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
Steve.
Yeah.
Got a minute?
Senor, excuse me.
We still can't find the gun, but we did find the slug. 32 caliber. It went right through him and lodged right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mike and the bishop were pretty close, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty close. What else you got?
Tell me, what was troubling him?
Well, the archdiocese is a great responsibility.
I don't mean that. Steve just called. I heard about the threatening letter. Why didn't he tell me?
Mike, I feel sure that if Tim had felt you could help him in any way, he would have confided in you. Miss Sims.
Monsignor, how is he? They wouldn't tell us anything downstairs.
He's in God's hands. In his, and those of the finest surgeon in this hospital.
The radio said he was critical. Oh, I couldn't believe it when I heard it.
Who would have done such a...
We don't know yet.
Excuse me. This is Lieutenant Stone, an old friend. Ellen Sims and Mr. Webster.
when he cared for people the way he loved them.
Please. Here, come and sit down. The waiting will be easier. Ellen Sims is a coordinator for social counseling. I'm afraid she's a little bit in need of some counseling herself right now. Would you excuse me?
You get any word? No, nothing yet. What about the letter?
The lab's got under a microscope.
They've had it for an hour.
Sir, you're not allowed here without a pass.
I'm here to find out about Bishop Farrell.
I'm sorry. You'll have to inquire on the first floor. I'm under strict orders.
That will be all right, nurse. This is Father Wilson. He's with us.
Excuse me, Father. You just didn't look like a priest.
Yes, that's the idea. Is he going to make it?
We'll know soon.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Yeah. You could try praying.
Lieutenant?
Man has an extraordinary will to live. That and the constitution of a freight train.
Tell me something I don't know.
Bishop Farrell stands a fighting chance.
That's all he needs. Thank you, Doctor. Well, he's still alive. Now we've got to find the one who tried to kill him.
No, before the ambulance came. Like I said, I was walking Romeo, and I saw her run out from the rectory.
Wait a minute, you saw a woman come out of there?
Young woman. She drove off in one of those little sports cars.
Now, would you recognize her again?
No, she was too fuzzy. I didn't have my contacts in. I'm myopic, nearsighted. But she was young, I could see that. I didn't think they were allowed, you know.
Okay, thank you very much.
I want the names of all your domestic help. People who clean here, the gardeners, maintenance men, anyone who could have been here last night.
Well, that all happens in the daytime. After 6, there's only the resident staff. Bishop Farrow, of course, myself, Father Tony, Mrs. Costello, and yes, Father Wilson.
He lives here?
Yes. Oh, Lieutenant, certainly you don't suspect...
No, I said that anyone who could get that close to Tim, to be able to shoot point blank, must have been someone that he knew.
Lieutenant Stone, the bishop is still in the shadows, and here you are acting it out like the devil's own passion play. And I thought you were his friend.
I'm afraid that we're all standing on hallowed ground here with Mrs. Costello. To her, the bishop is a saint.
And to Father Wilson?
I don't think he has any.
What is a street priest like him doing here on the staff?
Frankly, it was an effort to tame him down. All those arrests for civil disobedience, and protest marches and all. The bishop felt it might help to rein him in, so to speak.
Did it? Did it rein him in?
Some. They don't have conversations exactly yet, but they do have nose-to-nose discussions.
And the man with the flowers, you called him, Webster.
Yes. He's one of our lay advisors. I suppose he represents the more conservative element in the archdiocese.
He must love Father Wilson.
Well, he certainly opposes Wilson's latest venture, the rent strike against slum landlords. I suspect George Webster might be one of them.
And that would put Tim right in the middle.
Excuse me one second. One of the neighbors saw a woman running out here just before the shooting. She got into a gray Mustang.
Yes, Monsignor Carruthers. In just a moment. Inspector, it's for you.
Thank you. Yes, Inspector Keller.
Is Miss Sims still in her office?
Yes, I believe so. Would you like me to have her come in?
Please, yeah. No, don't bother. I'll talk to her.
Brenner. You got a current address?
My car? Last year's Pinto, sunshine yellow with bucket seats.
Miss Sims, did you come back here last night for any reason?
No, I left at 5 and went directly home. I had a good deal of work to do. This is much more than a full-time job. Is there anything else you want to know, Lieutenant?
Were you alone?
Yes, why shouldn't I be?
Miss Sims, nothing personal. It's my job. I have to ask these questions.
Well, in any case, you have your answer.
Lieutenant, your inspector's looking for you.
His name is Neil Brenner. He's got a track record as an anti-religious freak.
Positive ID?
Yeah, the letter he sent matches a threat letter was sent to an archbishop about a year ago. Had to do with birth control, except on that one, he left his return address.
Yeah, well, what else?
She got picked up before for threatening letters. Psychological profile just says his father was some old on a fire and brimstone preacher. Used to use the rod on him a lot.
And he's been getting even ever since, huh?
Yep.
Well, if he thinks he's a fanatic, wait till I get my hands on him. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, Mr. Brenner?
Yes, why?
From the police department, I'd just like you to put that box down, please, and put your hands above your head.
Not this time, mister. You freeze.
So I write letters to the New York Times, the Chronicle, even the Christian Science Monitor. And after this inquisition is over, I'm going to write some more letters.
And I am about ready to book you right now.
All right. Look. I'm studying political science. It's an extension program at the university. We had an exam last night from about 6 till 9.
Voila. Found this here in your house, Neil. The type on it matches those of the letters.
Book him.
I didn't shoot any
We're going
bishop.
to find out soon enough. Right now, you're being booked for possession of illegal explosives and sending a threatening letter.
No, I had to do that. They have got to be stopped. They're stealing us blind.
Get him out of here, will you? Come on.
No, please try to listen to me. You've got to understand. Please.
Homicide, Stone. Well, that's the best news I could have heard, Doctor. Yeah, I appreciate your call. Tim's conscious.
Great.
All right. Now, where's that mugshot? Will you find mugshot of Brenner for me? I'll get my coat.
So? Who won the game?
I hate to tell you. 49ers lost it in the last 10 seconds.
Well, glad I missed it.
Tim, I think we found the man who shot you. You recognize him? You sure? Now, he must have been as close to you as I am right now. What did he look like?
Mike, let it be.
You know him? Someone you know. If we don't catch him, we could try it again. Come on, Tim, give me some help.
Vengeance is not mine, it's the Lord's.
Tim.
Faith like this, there's nothing you can do. It's in God's hands.
That stubborn horse, he bullheaded. Farrell. He talked the hospital into releasing him. That makes him an easier target, and Brenner is out on bail, or haven't you heard?
I heard, Mike, but he's not our man. He's got a classroom full of witnesses. You got a D- on the test.
Well, he's doing better than we're doing. No gun, no suspect. Victim who doesn't want to protect himself. Well, I guess we go right back to our homework again, huh? Recheck all the names for access or a motive.
Here's a list of all known anti-religious fanatics with a record of violence. Every one of them has an airtight alibi.
Well, we know that no one broke in. No one from the outside had a key.
Yep. Which leaves somebody from the inside. Somebody he's protecting.
Now, you don't think that someone from his staff shot him, do you?
You said yourself, given the proper motivation, anyone's capable of violence, even murder.
I guess my religious background is beginning to show.
It's just around the edges. Now, I've been doing a workup on the staff. We got Father Crothers, he was at a Bible study group. Father Tony and Mrs. Costello at the novena. And Father Wilson, he was downtown feeding the hungry, if you're going to believe his street people. So the only one left unaccounted for is Ellen Sims.
Yes, but wait a minute now. That witness of yours, she wasn't too reliable either, you know. Could have been a priest in a cassock she saw.
Yeah, it could have been. Or it could have been a girlfriend.
What are you getting at?
Let's just suppose that Ellen Sims came back to see someone. Like Father Wilson.
If you're talking about celibacy or the lack of it, then we can't forget Father Tony or Carruthers either, you know.
For me, it keeps coming back to Wilson. He's the one with a juvenile record 2 inches thick. He's been resisting authority all his life.
All right. You go to Father Wilson's center and lean on him.
Okay.
Press him about Miss Sims. And I'll go to the rectory. If Tim is well enough to be sent home, then he's well enough to be interrogated.
Your bed is made up and ready, so you can rest.
That's all I've been doing. Now, what's been happening here? Who's minding the store?
Well, we've all been waiting for you. Father Wilson called from the center.
Ah, yes, I told him to come by later.
And George Webster wants to see you. He insists it's imperative.
Oh, does he? All right, I'll see him when he arrives.
Oh, yes, and Lieutenant Stone is on his way over.
Oh, that must be him now. Better answer the door, Tony. Mike doesn't like to wait on doorsteps.
Oh, you really shouldn't let all these people bother you now.
Oh, Mrs. Costello, I'm perfectly fine. But I tell you what, I would dearly love a pot of your golden tea. The memory of that alone has sustained me beyond measure.
Oh, God bless you, Bishop. And welcome home.
Ah, Mike, come in, come in. I've been wanting to talk to you. Now that I'm out of danger, I think you can call off your guard.
The answer is no.
No, don't be difficult.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're still in danger. Tim, come on now, tell me the truth, will you?
Well, the truth is that God gave me back my life for his own reasons, according to his own plan. I had to come close to dying to find out what living's all about. Have faith, Mike. The man who shot me won't try it again. And he's already been punished.
Well, not in my book. I'm not going to drop this investigation just because you decide to turn the other cheek. Tim, I want you to tell me the truth. Who are you protecting?
No one but myself.
That's not good enough.
You'll have to do.
What are you trying to do? Hide behind that collar on me?
I'm asking you to leave it alone.
And I am asking you to tell me who that young lady was that ran out of the rectory the night you were shot. Who did she come to see?
Mike, I'm sorry. I couldn't make that ball game.
All right. Have it your way. But until I find out who you're protecting and why, they stay. Take care of yourself.
Do you feel strong enough to go from Mike Stone to George Webster?
It'll be like choir practice after Mike.